a book review on this book, Why You Act the Way You Do. So I've come to realize that a lot of people haven't even discovered themselves. They don't know the reason why they act the way they do. You don't know your strength, you don't know your weakness, you don't even know your temperament, and that's a very, very bad thing. So that's the reason why I'm here, to teach you or to tell you what I learned from this book. It's a very, very interesting book. In this book, I'm going to review it and I'm going to tell you the 4 different personality types we have: your strength, weakness, your vocation. And this is so important because with this, you can even find out more about yourself, the partner or someone that is suitable for you, if you people's temperament, if it goes together, because it's not every temperament that goes together. So if you want to learn more about yourself, then this video is for you. Keep watching. I think it's safe to say Happy New Year because this is my first video of 2022. I mean, the holidays is over and it has finally dawned on me. So, the title of this book is Why You Act the Way You Do by lahaye. I hope I'm not murdering someone's name. Okay, so according to this book, even identical twins can be differentiated based on their character. Some people might like sports, arts, history, while others might like science and all of that. Personally, I don't relate well with art courses. I studied pharmacy in school, so even in pharmacy, there are some of the art courses that we did, like pharmacoeconomics, pharmacy management. I couldn't just relate with them. It was just so abstract for me, and there's a reason why I behave that way. And so that's what I'm about to teach you or tell you in this book. So according to this book, there are 4 different personality types: the sanguine, the choleric, the melancholy, and the phlegmatic. Now, the sanguine and the cholerics, they are the extroverts. They're like the 2 extroverts we have, while the melancholy and the phlegmatic, they are the introverts. That's like they are the quiet people and all. So before I move to the strength, the weakness, and even the vocations of each temperament, let me give you a brief review of what each temperament is about. The first personality type, the sanguines. These people are very, very extroverted. They love to talk, they love to go out, they love to explore. These people, you know, those kind of people that when you're walking on the road, and they greet the whole world. Everybody knows them. They are very noisy. Yes, those are the sanguines. Then the second set of people, the cholerics. The cholerics, they love to lead. They love, they love power. They love to take charge. They can't just sit down and watch others lead them. No, they want to get involved in what is happening. They are quite a little bit harsh, a bit hostile. Sometimes they can be very insensitive. They are workaholics. They don't get tired. You know those kind of people that they are like, they get their joy from working. Do you understand? Then the next set of people, the melancholies. These people, they are very, very analytical. How do I even explain it now? That they analyze things a lot. You don't want to be inside the head of a melancholy. You know those kind of people that they think and worry and think even what they are thinking about. They will think and think and think. Those kind of people. They are very, very critical. They criticize a lot. You know those kind of people that when you just tell them something, they've already found 1,000 reasons why that thing cannot work. They'll say, no, don't do it. They are very, very, they criticize a lot, and they are perfectionists. They like everything perfect. There is no room for mistakes. As in, there is no room for mistakes. They just want everything to be very, very perfect. But the thing is, they're also very faithful friends. You know, if they're your friends or more, just know that it's the 2 of you till death do you people part. Then the last one is the phlegmatic. These people, I don't even know. These people are just weird people. They're just very calm, easygoing. They don't like stress. They don't like wahala. They're just happy people. Do you understand? They can be very lazy and sometimes they lack ambition. So I'm going to talk about the strength, the weakness, the needs, and the vocation of each temperament. When I mean needs, I mean in a way that each temperament can strengthen their weakness. That's what they need to make themselves better people. And when I mean vocation, I mean, like, the kind of work or things you can venture into and you will do very well in it. Before I continue, I want you to note that your environment can sometimes affect your temperament. Maybe you were born melancholy, but maybe where you find yourself can make your temperament can actually change. Let me give you an instance. I went to a Catholic school, Madonna, and we had rules, we had regulations. It was not just a very normal, it was not just like the normal federal universities. No, we had like rules, a lot of rules guiding us. So if you disobey any rule, there's a consequence for all your actions. So in the end, it actually made Madonna's students to be mostly phlegmatic. So if you see most Madonna students, they are very calm, easygoing, they just don't like trouble. So the sanguines, their strength. Now let me list the strengths of a sanguine. The first thing is they are very fun-loving people. They are very happy people, very positive people. They are like the life of every party. There is never a dull moment with a sanguine. Like a sanguine can come into this room and everywhere will just be happy. They have this very happy aura, and it's a very good thing. At the same time, they're very positive. They don't dwell in the past. Even if something bad has happened to them, they tend to move on from things very, very fast. At the same time, they also fall in love very fast, like sharp, they don't really love you. Now, what are the weaknesses of a sanguine? The weakness of a sanguine is they lack discipline. Those people are very, very undisciplined. Like, they don't have discipline at all. And they are very scattered, very disorganized. They are not very trustworthy. Like, you can't really trust them to do something and they will just do it well. It's very difficult because they can be very restless. They are everywhere. They get bored easily. They can start something, they would never finish it. They are very, very inconsistent. The sanguines are also very proud people. They have a very large ego, so it makes them very, very proud. Now, what are the needs of a sanguine? Now, how can they make themselves to be better people? The first thing a sanguine needs is peace. Because of the fact that sanguines tend to be very, very restless, they get bored easily, so they like to do a lot of things at the same time. They get very restless, so they need peace. That's the first one. The second thing a sanguine needs is patience. Patience is also kind of related to peace. They can be very inconsistent. They can start something, a lot of projects, but they will never finish any one. Do you understand? So they need lots of patience in their life. They need God. They need to pray to God to bless them with patience, or to give them patience. That's like one of the fruits of the spirit. Or they can even deliberately start being patient about certain things in their life. Then the next thing they need is gentleness. The sanguines, they tend to talk a lot. So sometimes they might even say the wrong things and they won't even know. They just say things, open their mouth, and just talk. And they don't even know that they're hurting the person with their jokes or with their happiness. Do you understand? So they need gentleness in their life. Then the next thing is meekness. Because sanguines tend to be very proud people. They are very, very proud. So they need God to bless them with humility and meekness. Now, what are the vocations they can venture into? That's what kind of work do they excel in? The first thing is they do very well as preachers. Yes, because they can talk, they can speak. They're very good on the stage. That's the first one. And then they're also very good salespeople. That's like a salesperson. They're very good at selling things. So they make very good marketers. So if you go to a bank, it's much better to put a sanguine as a marketer. Don't put a sanguine as an accountant, because they are not good with details. These people are very disorganized. Do you understand? So they are not good with details at all. So they will just misplace money and they will not even know. It's just the way they be. So it's just much better they are marketers, where they will meet people, because they are very good with people. Now, the cholerics, these people are very self-disciplined people. They are very determined. They are very confident people. I'm talking about their strengths now. Of a choleric, their strengths. They love to work and they get their joy from work. They are workaholics. So a choleric is dependable. You can depend on a choleric to get the work done, and the choleric will get the work done because they get their joy and their fulfillment from work. Now, they're also good leaders. They tend to know how to lead people. They love to lead. A choleric cannot just sit down and allow you to actually lead them. It's very, very difficult. They prefer to be the ones to lead, and they make good leaders. The next thing is their weaknesses. They can be very harsh. Do you understand? These people, they don't really care about people's feelings or emotions. So it makes them very, very insensitive people. They can be very, very harsh, and it's a very bad thing. And they don't like to give compliments to people, because they feel like if they give compliments to people, not really people, but people that work under them, if they give compliments to them, they feel like maybe they'll become complacent or they won't get the work done. Do you understand? So it's just their personality. They don't like to give compliments or let's say appreciate people for what they've done. They are very kind of difficult to please. Now, they also love to do things on their own way. They don't like to listen to advice. You know, if you're telling them, no, this is the way we should do it, especially if they are leaders, and then you're telling them, no, this is the way we should, they say, no, this is the way I want it to be done. Do you understand? So they're not open to opinions, which is very bad. And they don't take no for an answer. A choleric, if not worked on by God, can be very dangerous, because if you stand in their way to get what they, as in, if you stand in their way and they don't get what they want, they can do anything to you. Do you understand? So that's one of the things I'm also going to talk about. One of the needs of a choleric. Now, the first need of a choleric is a choleric needs to work on having love and compassion, because a choleric does not have love and compassion naturally. That's the truth. They don't love people like that. They don't have compassion for people's feelings. They can be very insensitive. They need gentleness. They also need joy, because they are very hard to please. They need meekness, that's humility, because they feel they can do it all, so they don't need to listen to this person's advice. The sanguines, their one is that they have ego. Do you understand? They're very proud people. But these ones, they just feel they can just do it by themselves. They don't even need your help. Do you understand? So they need meekness in their life. Now, what are the vocations they can venture into? Most cholerics are very good entrepreneurs. They do well as businessmen. They do very, very well as businessmen. They do very well as project supervisors. They do very well as developers. They do very well as managers, because they love to manage people. They're also very good salespeople, and they're also very good preacher. Now, the melancholies, this one, I'm going to take time to explain them, because these people they're just somehow. The melancholies, they have very high IQ. They are very, very intelligent people. They are very, very intelligent. They are very, very creative. Most melancholies, they're always geniuses. Like, you know, all those Albert Einstein, Socrates, Aristotle, most of them are melancholies. And melancholies are very, very creative. And that thing is that melancholies love perfection. If something is not perfect, they don't want it to. That's the kind of personality they have. They love perfection so much. Another thing is they're also very dependable. You can depend on them to do a good job, because they love everything perfect. So most times they always do a very, very good job. And they love behind the scenes. A melancholy, let's say there's a party, a melancholy will prefer to be in the kitchen, cooking, making sure everything is done, everything is going to be perfect, the party is going to be perfect. They will not even dress up and come and join and dance. So it's the sanguine that will be the one that will be the MC, that will be gingering everybody and making everybody happy. But you see those melancholies, they're the ones behind the scenes, they're the ones backdoors, making sure that everything is perfect. Now, they can be very serious people, and they are very, very disciplined. You know, they work very well with routines. Their weakness is the fact that they can be very, very critical. They criticize things a lot, because they love perfection. They just feel everybody in the world should be perfect. They don't have the patience to deal with people's imperfections. And they can be very, very dissatisfied, very difficult to please. You know, nothing you do can make them happy. Very, very difficult. Even if you bring something, they'll say no, they want it 100%. Do you understand? And it just makes them, sometimes it makes them very unhappy people. They even criticize their own selves. They don't believe they're enough. So they tend to compare themselves to other people. And in the end, most melancholies might end up having a low self-esteem if they don't work on themselves, because they always want to compare their lives to others. They want to know how this person is doing. Is this person doing better than them? Is this person That's just how they are. Do you understand? And they think a lot. They worry a lot. I'm going to do a book review on how to stop worrying and start living. So I think this one's, if you're melancholy, you need to come and listen to that book review. I think I'll be doing it next. So, you know, they just worry a lot. It's just their personality. And you know those kind of, if you have a melancholy parent, it's very obvious. If you get a B, they'll just say, why didn't you get an A? They just want everything to be very perfect. They cannot even say, you did very well, or you tried. They just want it to be 100. Perfect or nothing. Now, what are the needs of a melancholy temperament? A melancholy person doesn't really need patience, because these people are very, very patient people. So they already have lots of patience inside them. One of the major things a melancholy needs is love. You know, they need to develop that love inside their body, inside themselves. They need to learn how to even love themselves and know that they are enough, that they are trying, they are doing very well. So if you have a melancholy partner, they need lots of reassurance, because most times they always start to think, are you sure he still loves me? Are you sure they are my friend? Are you sure this? they criticize and they analyze a lot. So if you study your partner, you realize that your partner is in melancholy, try to reassure them all the time that yes, you're still with them and you're in this together. Then the second thing is they need joy, because melancholies, they can be naturally moody. Like, you know those people that they can just wake up with mood swings, as in, and the whole day they're just like this. Melancholies, they need joy in their life, because most times they can be naturally moody people. And they also need peace, because their thoughts are everywhere. They're always worrying, they're always thinking inside what they're thinking, and thinking about what they're thinking, as in their brain is just as in moving like this. So most times they need peace of God in their lives. And another thing is they need faith. They need faith to believe in themselves, that to believe that yes, that they are doing it well and they can do it. They need lots of faith, because they don't even believe in themselves. They don't even believe that God is really helping them. They're always like, God, are you sure you're here? Are you sure? They always question, analyze, and that's just one of their major weaknesses, the fact that they're very, very critical. So most times they need faith. They need to develop that faith inside them. Now, what are the vocations a melancholy can venture into? Now, most melancholies, they go into vocations like, because they're very intelligent people, so most times they are philosophers, they are inventors, composers, scientists, doctors, you know, all those things that need surgeons, you know, those things that need, like, you know, seriousness and meticulousness. Give it up for the melancholies. Now the phlegmatics, these people, phlegmatics. Okay, their strength is that they are very, very diplomatic people. A phlegmatic doesn't like trouble, they don't like to fight, they are very, very cheerful and happy people. They are very easygoing. A phlegmatic is very easy to love them. Like, once you see them, they are so calm, you know, they are just very easy to love. That's just one of their strengths. And that thing is, their weakness is that they are very selfish. Forget the fact that you might see a phlegmatic and they appear to be very calm and happy and easygoing. They can be very selfish people. Most times they only think about themselves. Do you understand? They will not do much to displease themselves and please you. As in, most times it's just themselves that they think about. So they can be very, very selfish. They're not really bothered about other people. So they can just stay in their bed. Even if you invite them for party, they may never really care how you will feel. They will just not go. Those people are very somehow people. Then they're also very stubborn. You know, you see phlegmatics, they are calm, easygoing, so you think that they're just like that. They can be very stubborn, but the thing is that you will not notice, because you meet a phlegmatic and you tell the phlegmatic, you know, this is what you need to do, you have to do this, and they will not even argue with you. They just say okay, and once they leave that place, they will still do what is in their mind. You know those people that they say they get coconut head, they know the hear word, phlegmatics, but you will not even know, because they are so calm. They will just do things their own way once they leave. Do you understand? Then another thing is they can be very lazy and they procrastinate a lot. They can be very lazy, they procrastinate, and they are very unmotivated. They can't just, you know, get themselves to do things. Most times they live their lives just, you know, very simple and happy and just calm. They don't really care. Do you understand? They don't really care. They can be very, very unmotivated and very lazy, and they procrastinate a lot. So that's one of their weaknesses. Now, what are the needs of a phlegmatic? One of the needs is that they need patience, because they procrastinate a lot and they quit a lot. They can start something, and once they just know that that is beginning to stress them, or more, they quit immediately. Then the next thing is also need love and kindness. Because of the fact that they are very selfish, they need to learn how to love people. Yes, they are very easygoing and also easy to love and charming and all of that, but sometimes they lack love in their own heart. So they need to learn how to love people and be kind to people and stop being selfish to people. Now, they also need faith. You know, they need faith because they can be very unmotivated and they won't even ever start something. They would never ever want to start something because they don't even have the strength, they don't have the energy, they don't want to stress their brain, they don't want to stress themselves. They are very passive and very, very fearful. Now, what vocations can they venture into? That he said that a choleric does not have the patience to deal with school children because of, you know, children can be very, very annoying sometimes. And he said that melancholies would keep insulting those children because melancholies will just feel like those children are supposed to be perfect, while the sanguines will keep talking and talking and talking and talking until it's school over. That is only the phlegmatics that can be patient enough to, you know, handle school children or elementary school children. So do you understand? So they say they can be very good elementary school teachers. They also say they can be engineers. If you're watching this video and you've learned something from this video and you don't subscribe to this channel, I'll call Mommy Gio for you, and you already know what will happen. You know where you're going. So please subscribe to my channel if you're learning something, or if you've learned something. I have very amazing videos that you can also learn from. Now, regardless of your personality, I want you to know that you can always adjust your weakness, and you can also you can adjust and even change. You can be a better person. So you can't just sit down there and say, oh, I'm a phlegmatic, I'm very, very selfish, so I don't really care about people. You have to deliberately become a better person. So whether you're a selfish phlegmatic, you're a disorganized sanguine, you're a critical melancholy, or you are a hostile choleric, you can still adjust and be a better person. Do you understand? You can also, I'll always ask God for the grace to be a much better person. Do you understand? And then deliberately work to be a better person. Let's say you're a selfish phlegmatic. What you can do is deliberately stop being selfish. One of the ways you can actually stop being selfish is try to start praying for others. Maybe when you're praying, try and keep your own needs aside, and then pray for other people's needs. Do you understand? Pick somebody that you know that has a problem, and then you calm down and you just pray for the person. Same thing with a sanguine. If you're a very disorganized sanguine, all you just have to do is just calm down, take it very easy, pray to God for patience, pray to God to be organized, and then you take your life one step at a time. Do you understand? So don't just go around saying I'm a selfish phlegmatic or I'm a lazy phlegmatic, and then you'll not accomplish anything in this life. From what I've learned in this book, I think, or I know that I'm a sanfleg. I have sanguine personalities in me, and I have phlegmatic personalities in me. And to even think of it, you know, I said phlegmatics that most times they do very well as elementary school teachers. Do you know that there was a period in my life that I actually wanted to work in a daycare? Yes, like I actually said, I was going to go and work in a daycare. But trust African parents, when I told my dad that I wanted to go and work in a daycare for a while during the break, I was like, it's the daycare. I think I might even make up my mind to join the Sunday school teachers in my church. That's also going to be a very good way for me to make use of my personality, because of the fact that I have sanguine personalities in me. I can be very extroverted sometimes. That's what makes me come to the camera and, you know, speak even though I'm shy. And then my phlegmatic personalities can also make me to be very introverted and just want to keep to myself sometimes. Do you understand? So just find out your own personality, and then find out a way you can work on your strength and your weakness. Now, this is the last part of this video. Tim talked about, see if I'm saying Tim as if he's my friend. So Tim talked about how you can strengthen your personality, or how you can, your personality in marriage. You know, most times opposites attract. So a disorganized sanguine most likely would be attracted to an organized melancholy, and in the beginning it will be so beautiful, and you know, opposites attract, because in life opposites always attract. So in the beginning it will be so beautiful, but at a point resentment might come in, because the sanguine might be so angry, like, why is this melancholy so organized and so meticulous? Can't they just calm down, breathe, and take fresh air sometimes? And then melancholy might also be annoyed, like, why is this guy or this sanguine so disorganized and scattered? What kind of a human being is this? So he gave tips on how you can, you know, overcome these resentments in your marriage or your relationship, and have a better and much more happier relationship. Now, the first thing he said is you have to learn to accept your partner, both their strength and their weakness. That's the first thing. You have to learn to accept your partner's strength and weakness. And then you have to learn to adapt to your partner's weakness while strengthening yours. Now, let me give you an example. There's this lady that said, in this book, there's a story that this lady said of how something, I can't even remember, but something about how she doesn't like to entertain people, that her husband always brings guests and visitors into the house, that she doesn't even like it, that she's always angry, that they'll just come scatter everywhere and go. And then the counselor told her that maybe you're a selfish person, because why don't you want to entertain people? Why don't you want people to come to your house, eat and be happy? Like, what's the big deal? It's not that you cannot afford food, but you just don't want them around you. Do you understand? So she was not like, that means I might be a selfish person, no. And she now deliberately started working towards being a better person. And it made her and her husband have a much better relationship. Because even when visitors come, she doesn't feel so angry anymore. She now sees it as a form of service. Do you understand? As a form of service to make people happy, you know, just give them food or whatever. So you see how she worked on herself and became a better person in her marriage. So now, one of the remedies that Tim gave here, he gave us 6 tips on how to overcome temperament problems regardless of your temperament. So I'm just going to quote what I wrote or what he said. Now he said, slam the divorce door. Never use divorce to threaten your spouse. That's number one. Number two, admit that you're not perfect, because this one is mostly for the phlegmatics. The phlegmatics feel that they are so perfect, that they are easygoing and everybody loves them, so they are very perfect people, they don't annoy people. That's a lie. Most times you hear phlegmatics say, I don't have problem. I know I don't have problem. You have problem. Check yourself where you're a selfish person. Now the third thing is accept your partner's weakness. Yes, accept your partner's weakness. So even if you have a sanguine partner that is very, very disorganized, try to accept the person and, you know, find a way to work around it. The easier you accept, the faster you accept a person, the easier it will be to change that person. Do you understand? So when someone knows that you're for them, that you've accepted them, whether they change or not, okay, fine, I've accepted you for who you are. They are going to also want to change, because if they love you. The next thing is pray for strengthening of your partner's weakness. And then the fifth one is apologize when you're wrong. This is mostly for the, I think, for the cholerics. They don't like to apologize. Those people, they're wicked. Then the sixth one is verbalize your love. And also for the cholerics, they don't like to verbalize their love. They feel like maybe if they say it or they make you know how much they love you, your head might swell and you will not be a good person or a good wife again. So choleric husbands, choleric wives, or choleric human beings, learn to verbalize your love. If you have a choleric friend, tell your friends that you love them. Yes, so I've come to the end of this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I really hope you've learned something. If you've enjoyed this video, just give me a thumbs up, subscribe. It makes me happy, honestly. Do you know how I feel when I come and then I see that someone subscribed to my channel is helping somebody? Please share to your friends. Follow my Instagram page, Real Life with Akoma. Follow my own personal page, _Akoma. Just shall help me. Simple.